Hi, neighbor. I'm Ryan Perrone.
And I'm Alana Jones.
This week, our own Ariela Allen talks to a representative from the Student Government Association and covers a protest that occurred on campus. Then I speak with attendees of the Founders Day event to learn more about this tradition that is important to our campus.
Plus, I sit down with paranormal investigators to learn about their services that they're offering to Boone. Join us as we say,
Hi, neighbor.
Hi neighbor, my name is Ariela Allen and today I'm here with Senator Trey Blackwood, our current Senate President of our student body. Today, Senator Blackwood and I sit down and chat about the importance of student engagement with our Student Government Association, aka SGA, his role in ensuring this engagement, and how students can get involved. Senator Blackwood, it is such an honor to have you on our show today. You know, it's not every day we get the Senate President to come on and speak with us.
Well, thank you, Ariela, for having me today.
Well, Senator Blackwood, tell us a little bit about yourself. We want all the tea on you and your previous experience in SGA prior to holding this position.
So this year I'm a junior political science major with a concentration in public administration and I have a minor in community and regional planning. This is my third year in SGA and it's been the honor of my life to be able to have it and hold it. I started out as a freshman senator and that year I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't really know what SGA was and what SGA meant. Since that time, I've been able to grow in this organization. Last year, I was able to serve as the chairperson of the Rules Committee, which was the greatest privilege I think could have been given, aside from this position. That really helped me grow both personally and professionally in this. And it's just really taught me how to interact with students and to reach students the best and live up to what SGA stands for, and that's to make sure that all students' voices are heard.
That's absolutely amazing. So if you don't mind me asking, what or who inspired you to run for Senate President?
So the interesting thing about this position this year is that this is the first year of this position. Last year, in the beginning of this year, we changed our SGA constitution that was ratified by the student body. And so it created this position. So before me, it was the pro temp, and his name was Jay Gibson, and he really inspired me, and he taught me and showed me how those basic concepts of how to work with people and to collaborate and foster collaboration, and which we really need in this organization to make sure that we are reaching all students. And it's very crucial this year that this position goes well because we want to make sure, and I want to make sure that I'm defining this position as something that can last a long time and can make sure it's beneficial to the organization as a whole. And I'm looking forward to serving it and doing it well, and I'm very thankful to all the ones who came before me who gave me this opportunity.
Wow, Trey, that's absolutely amazing. And prior to you saying that, I hadn't even realized that you were the first one to hold this position. So congratulations for getting it. And while we're talking about activism and student engagement, I know student engagement was a big part of your vision this year. So how are you planning to ensure our voices are heard and our values are reflected in SGA? And how is your position specifically going to support that vision?
Ariel, I just want to start and say I'm so excited we're back on campus this semester. One of my biggest goals and visions, and all of us at SGA, is going out and reaching students again. Last year with the COVID year, we weren't able to do that as much, and we really saw during that time that we need to really engage with students and make sure that their voices are being heard. So this year we're having multiple events that are going on. We have a new SGA tent that we'll have on Sanford Mall often. We're in the works of planning a town hall mic night event in the Solarium on October 14th. I'll give that little plug there.
Yes, all of y'all come out to it. It's very important.
And just events like that to make sure that we are hearing students and that they know that their voices are being heard and that we're working for them, because ultimately this is a student organization and we're here to help students out. And it's my job as Senate President this year to make sure that those goals and aspirations are being met, to make sure that we're really getting out within our community.
Right, and I really like everything you're saying about your goals and your aspiration, and I love the emphasis on student involvement. But as we all know from serving in leadership positions, sometimes the vision can get a little bit mired in the challenges you face. So what challenges do you foresee for this vision, and how do you plan on addressing them?
Right, so as we all know, COVID-19 seems as could be another challenge for this year. hopefully we do not go back to the online setting. Hopefully we can stay in person to where we're able to engage and stay with students and help students out. That also means that we need to make sure that students are well supported during this time, whether that means fighting for a hybrid option in classrooms or other ways that we can make sure that we're staying engaged. As well as working with university administration to make sure that they are hearing us as well and that they know the needs and challenges that students are facing. And I think that as an organization, that if we address that, if we bring that to the forefront and have the administration listen to us, we can bring big change on this campus.
And that's really what I love about you in this position. You really have this emphasis on not only creating change within SGA, but also involving other students in that change as well. And speaking from personal experience, I remember my first few years here at App, and I just felt like my voice wasn't being heard and no one was listening to it. Right. So I absolutely love this initiative that's essentially saying no voice will be left behind. Right. And for any students who agree with me and feel like they just want to get involved in these organizations, how can they do so and who should they talk to?
So currently we have multiple positions and seats that are available within our Senate that we really want to get filled. We have multiple sophomore, junior, and senior seats that need to be filled to make sure that those voices are being represented. You can contact myself at blackwoodtl@appstate.edu or our recruitment retention officer, Gabe Montalbano. We can get you started out with that petition form and how to get more involved within SGA. And as well, you can follow us on our App State SGA page, Instagram page.
Awesome. Yeah. I am so glad to hear there are so many different contacts students can reach out to get involved. And honestly, Senator Blackwood, it has been such an honor to sit here and speak with you today, hearing about your vision of student engagement and SGA and creating students themselves, whether they're leaders or not, as leaders on campus is something I think every college could learn from you and learn from our organizations. So once again, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for reiterating that message that no student voice will be left behind. And for those watching, remember to stay connected. You can follow SGA's Instagram at AppStateSGA or by reaching out to Recruitment and Retention Officer Gabe Montalbano. Until next time, bye neighbor. Hi, I'm Ariela Allen from Hi Neighbor, and I'm here today to cover the protest against the Heartbeat Bill, also known as SB8, which was passed on September 1st, 2021 by the Texas legislators. We are here to see the protest happening, which was put on in conjunction by concerned students and the Planned Parenthood's Generation Collective. Hello, App TV. I am here with the wonderful organizer of this protest who is going to explain what incentivized her to be on the camera today, what incentivized her to build this protest up, and she's going to tell us all about it.
Hi, I'm Jillian Mobley. I am a first-year grad student at App, and I organized this protest alongside Planned Parenthood Generation Action. And we organized it just to say that there is a community in Boone that supports reproductive rights, that we will be here regardless. And even though the Senate 8 bill is not in North Carolina, it doesn't mean that it won't be eventually. And so we want to say that we will always support abortion rights and that we will be here to support students in the wider community in that right.
For those of you who aren't particularly familiar with the conditions of the bill, it states the following. Any woman who is trying to obtain an abortion cannot do so after 6 weeks, i.e. the week in which a heartbeat is said to have been found in her womb for the fetus. Also, any person who helps the woman obtain an abortion after 6 weeks, this is not just restricted to doctors, but any everyday citizen can also be sued in court, and if the suit is successful, can be fined $10,000. You heard that right. That was a 10 with 3 zeros behind it.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These backward views have got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These backward views have got to go! Hey, hey!
One thing that I've learned through the education that I've done for myself is that allyship and showing up, that's the bare minimum, and I think all of us who believe in social justice and have a serious problem with these backwards laws, we should all be enthusiastically coming out and protesting these ridiculous rules, and I think we should all aim to eventually be accomplices in the fight for social justice.
Support people, because we need to love each other more. We need to care about each other.
Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind your sign tonight?
Behind my sign, it's simply put, keep your policies off my body. I think that it's absolutely ridiculous. I think my body should have nothing to do with government. My body is regulated in a way that other people's are not, just because of my gender and just because of who I am, and I think it's really messed up. Just keep your policies off my body.
I was just really happy to see APP doing this because the fight for reproductive rights definitely didn't start in Texas. It didn't start 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It has always been a struggle in America, both for the right for women to make hard choices about their pregnancy and for women to be able to have the choice to get pregnant. North Carolina has a really iffy history with reproductive rights in all aspects, and I think that it's just really empowering to see my community come together and to show solidarity with the women in Texas who are having such a hard time right now.
Hi, I'm Brianna, and this is my sign. It says religion should not be policy. So one thing that I have noticed throughout many pro-life movements is that they use religion in such a way that it should be dictated for the rest of the state, which is directly against our freedoms and liberties, as the church should be separate from the state. And for my fellow Catholics out there, I'm queer and you are loved, and it doesn't matter if you still identify as Catholic or not. Your body is yours, and you can do with it what you want.
And I'm Ariela with APP TV, covering the protest today. As we can see, it is wrapping up right now. And if there's one thing I want for all of those watching to remember, it's hey, hey, ho, ho, these out-of-date policies have got to go. Thank you, and have a great night.
Hi, neighbor. I went out to cover Founders Day and ran into a surprise protest during the event. Follow me as I interview attendees of the event, including one of the protesters.
Founders Day is a celebration of App State's long history and founders. However, this year's Founders Day, a protest broke out. Let's hear what one of them has to say.
Hi, I'm with
Michael Weiss.
And we came out for Founders Day today, and protest just broke out. And so I was just wondering a little about it. Like, what are you guys aiming for? Why today? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so we're the Climate Action Collaborative, and we've been around for like 2-3 years now, asking for APP to really be true to their commitments and their goals for sustainability. And we've been fighting and trying to make that happen over these years, and over again, through student government, through faculty senate, through working with staff, we are ignored time and time again. We reach out directly to administration, ignored again. And so now it's time that we have no other option but to make ourselves heard in any way that we can. And so it's nothing about Founders Day. It's really just like we're going to be here every day. We're going to be here always. And if APP is going to use publicity and say that they're sustainable, then we're not going to let that happen. We're going to make sure that everybody knows that they're not sustainable so that they can stop profiting off that false image until it's real.
Despite the protests, Founders Day ran like there was no problem at all.
What a joy it is to be here on this beautiful day. It's only sprinkling. It's just a sprinkle. In person on Founders Plaza as we celebrate our 4th Founders Day celebration. This gathering honors the first day of classes at Watauga Academy in 1899 and recognizes the contributions of our founders, Bebe and Dee Dee Doherty and Lily Shull Doherty.
Even the most famous part of the event, the bell ringing, went smoothly.
You do this, hold it short, short on.
You're going to go to the side.
We got to speak with one of the bell ringers. Here's what happened.
Hi, I'm here with
Lynn Patterson.
And today we're talking about the Bell Ringers Association, Society. And this is one of the bell ringers, so I wanted to ask her some questions. So tell me a bit about the Bell Ringer Society.
The Bell Ringer Society is a society that was founded by the university. It started 4 years ago to honor the founders of the university, the Dohertys. And the Bell Ringer Society are a group of people who are asked because of their contributions to the university, whether it be through town gown, through history, and like they said, next year they're going to honor women that have served the university. So our contributions to the university and to the history of the university and connections between this year, our community, and the university itself.
All right. And what's the importance of this role to you specifically?
Okay, so I was born and raised in Boone. I went away to college 1 year, came back, finished college here, started to work here at the university, got married, raised my child here, and I still live here. I work in the library. I'm still here. This is home. This is everything to me. This community, the Appalachian family, the Appalachian community is so important to who I am and who I am as an individual. My daughter went to school. Well, she received scholarship offers, but decided to stay here at Appalachian as well. So we are lifers. She works here in the county. She's a teacher at the high school. So we love Boone. We love Appalachian. We love everything about this area. This is home for us.
All right. And just, I guess, one more question. For people who want to be a prospective bell ringer, what kind of steps do they need to take? What do they need to do?
They need to give back. You know, we say at Appalachian we need to leave a legacy. It's important for you as students to leave a legacy. Give back. Do things. Make your name known on this campus. Do positive things for Appalachian. You know, while you're here, leave that legacy. Blaze that trail, and give back to the university that gives so much to you.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking with me today.
Hi neighbor, my name's Alana Jones and I have a spooky story for y'all today. I had the chance to sit down with an ordained minister who is actually into paranormal activity. Let's see what he has to say.
So, we are more than just paranormal investigators. We also run 2 separate shows on our YouTube channel. Keisha has a show on Tuesday nights where she actually gets together with women in the paranormal community, and they talk about what it's like to be a woman in a very male-dominated venture that is the paranormal. And then Sunday nights, I have a show where I interview people that are from the big 3 of the paranormal community. That would be ghosts and spirits, cryptids, and UFOs. Just because we feel that everybody, it doesn't matter whether you're a big name in the community or a small name, you deserve to have your story and your information put out there. So that's just a way that we kind of serve our community in the paranormal, and we also investigate. So we try to do a little bit of everything to bring all of that goodness to the world.
I met him, he did it, and I was like, that sounds cool, I'll do that too. So, and it turned out really well. We really enjoy it.
So for me, I had my very first paranormal experience when I was 7 years old. I walked into my grandmother's house 2 hours after burying her and saw her sitting in her recliner. And at that moment, I was kind of like that switch of what the flip, bro, kind of like flip for me. And I was like, all right, that's not normal. That's not how this works. And then just throughout the years, I've lived in several haunted locations and started asking more and more questions. I turned 15, started doing some research because I realized that there were TV shows out there. And I'm like, okay, so there are people that are studying this. So I started doing that and then just got into it. And now here we are.
We're skeptical of what we do.
Yeah, we find value in that. We find that in order to be a proper paranormal investigator, you have to have skepticism. You can't just accept it for what it is. You'll even see that in our videos. We walk around. We try to find, why does it sound like there's a diesel motor? And we're looking around inside of this prison, and we find that there's a fan that's going up on the ceiling 3 floors up, and it's just reverberating down through the prison. You can't accept it at face value. You got to take it at, what else could this be logically? You can't just be like, oh, I heard a voice. That's all that was. It was a ghost talking. Was it? Or was it somebody walking by outside?
Yeah, and we throw a lot of things out because we just can't be sure.
Dude, that is a great question.
It's an awesome question.
I'm so happy that you asked that. So for me, it's an understanding of the biblical belief that there's a constant warfare going on around us spiritually. And you have to understand another thing that, once again, I will say, don't take everything that the paranormal community has to say as like gospel. Not everything's a demon, okay? Just because it's happening doesn't mean it's a demon. You have to understand that these are people that just don't happen to have a body anymore. Does that make sense to you guys? So, like, it's, I don't know, there's more to it than just what you can see at face value. There's an understanding there's a soul there. There's still a piece of the spirit that's behind, and it's because of the energy that is left behind by that person. You know, I always like to, I talk about Aunt Ethel's crock pot all the time, don't I? Mm-hmm. So Aunt Ethel's crock pot. Aunt Ethel cooks in this crock pot for 60 years. Every Sunday she makes chicken chili for the family. Aunt Ethel dies. Oh, poor Aunt Ethel. Well, they have an estate sale. Somebody buys Aunt Ethel's crock pot. And now at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sundays, they hear something, walk into the kitchen and find Aunt Ethel cooking chicken in the crock pot, and she's been dead for 4 years. There's energy, there's love, there's stuff that somebody leaves behind when they go. So it's a piece of that we're still seeing. It's an understanding that just because they're dead doesn't mean that you could treat them however you want to. We should still treat them with love and respect. Unless they're a dick.
I don't ever assume that I know what anything is or that I have the answers. And that's one of my pet peeves for people of faith, is to think that they know exactly how everything works. And I like to just say, hey, there could be. I don't know. I'm not going to put limits on my God or my faith. I'm going to let him do what he does, and I'm just going to see what the truth is and look for it. And so I don't have any answers, but I'm open to what might be real and what might not.
And I think that's what makes us a good team, is the fact that we don't think exactly the same.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, John and Keisha. Make sure you guys check out their YouTube channel, Sparks of the Paranormal. Bye, neighbor.
That's all for this week's episode. There's something cool and exciting happening in this small mountain town. Oh, and by the way, we have a new airtime. We will have new episodes out every 2 weeks, and our show, Hi Neighbor, now has an Instagram account. So make sure to follow us at hi_neighbor @TV to stay updated.
And make sure to follow our Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel @AppTV for more student-made content. Until next time, bye neighbor.